Fulu imanga misilemeri popio era nana sisaire waya sura bana peu abe bana peu kai posu pejina posu kai posu tu jena na koi abe jena wala be jena tangoni bi samedi ko ya fe kai posu mandide tu daga manya kai posu komite Fulu imanga misilemeri popio era nana sisaire waya sura bana peu
The terrorist attack in Burkina Faso has kept on increasing. Not only Burkina Faso, but right now the Al-Qaeda group and the jihadist group known as the JNIM wants to attack Mali and Niger. There is something that happened on Mali that shocked everyone in the whole world. Right now, the president of Mali, Assimi Goïta, is really afraid. What has just happened? Before we tell you what has really happened, we have a guest. Hello.
Hello.
It's been long, sir.
Quite some time. My name is Jonah Simba.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are happy to have you in the show, Jonah, once again.
Right.
And you look very smart.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. What can you say? Like, before we get to know what has just happened in Mali, yes, there is something that happened in Burkina Faso. There's a lot of insinuation that some of African president pretending to be Burkina Faso's friend, but they want to bring him down. Let's talk about this president of Guinea-Bissau, known as Doumbia. Should Ibrahim Traore trust him, or what do you think? Why are most of African leaders want to bring Traore down?
Very delicate question here. You're dealing with an issue that you can say it's like dark and dark gray. You know, you really don't have a concrete proof to really say that this person cannot be trusted. But let's look at some factors here. Doumbia has married a French woman.
Yes.
Yeah. Married a woman from the West. Well, for many of the people around Sahel, they would even argue that it's the wife who is in control. Is that? Yeah. So that you can't really say is a concrete proof, but it raises a little bit of question. We should encourage intermarriages. I'm not against any intermarriages. But then when you look at some of the leaders who have been in this position before, you're looking at people like Fidel Castro, who encountered such situations. They were very, very skeptical on getting spouses from the West, maybe for obvious reasons, maybe to win their public trust and their own personal trust. There's always a very thin line between the person you love and the bigger political question. So the political question here is this Doumbia's marriage, perceived as a bait for Guinea? That is now the biggest question. You may be married to somebody who leaks information, and we are not getting into that. We hope we are not interfering with any marriage here, but that has been the biggest question that is really getting someone from the West, then he is the one that seems to be in control according to the Sahelians. Is this really honest and genuine? Maybe they need to look at the genuine marks of the genuine marks of honesty, probably in their leader, the wife to Doumbia. They need to start looking. If they find that honesty is something they really have to search for, then they have a question to query. But at the moment, I can say it's really like dark and dark gray. There is no concrete proof that there is a problem.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jonah. We cannot question that because, Alassane Ouattara, the president of Cote d'Ivoire, wanted to bring Ibrahim Traore down. There was a lot of evidence, and there was a plan on how assassination attack was planned in Ivory Coast. And Alassane Ouattara is married to the West. So people are insinuating that the West are controlling Alassane Ouattara. On our today's story, there is something that has also happened in Burkina Faso. These two groups known as Al-Qaeda and JNIM, they are also known as the jihadist group. These people have been frequently attacking the president of Burkina Faso, the Sahel. Like yesterday, there are 3 civilians that lost their life in a serious gang attack in Jimbo. That's where Ibrahim Traore came out and warned the terrorists that they should stay away from Burkina Faso. Right now, as you are talking, the terrorist attack in Burkina Faso has reduced. Ibrahim Traore have been able to curb this terrorist attack. But the friend Mali, Assimi Goïta, is really affected by this terrorist attack. Also, yesterday at night, the Al-Qaeda attacked 30 Malian police soldiers and killed them, which is very sad. And right now, as you are talking, those Al-Qaeda group have been able to take the town of Bolikesi and seize control of armed base in Mali. What is really happening with this Sahel?
And the danger is that they seem to be targeting Timbuktu.
Yes.
Timbuktu is a very key town for Mali. Yeah, may this not be that they are targeting Timbuktu, because that way you really get into where the real trading and the main place for Mali, one of the biggest places for Mali. That will be a big statement from the terrorists. Maybe the question we need to ask, where are these terrorists coming from? That's the biggest question. They were made to retreat, but people around Sahel seem to be suspecting that there is Western interference.
True.
There seem to be some kind of Western support on these terrorist groups to destabilize Mali, and the wider Sahel region. Maybe at this point we really need to really look at what is really causing this kind of, upsurge of terrorism. Look at JNIM in Burkina Faso. Majority of the people in that terrorist group are actually, the tribe.
Yeah.
Which tribe? Fulani.
They are claiming that they are from the Fulani group. Yes, and you see this group, they are people that they are not able to provide for themselves.
They are actually Burkinabés.
Yes.
Yeah. Go on,
yes,
sir.
It's really sad to see that people from the Fulani group, and you are coming in the same place of Burkina Faso, want to bring your own president down. Why do you think that they are doing this?
A lot of problems. These are historical issues for the Sahel and for Africa in general. There's been a lot of poverty. There's been a lot of injustices in the past. Currently, all across Africa, if you're able to use money, you can easily win people on your side. Probably we need to look at how do we empower our people economically. These historical injustices that has caused poverty in many parts of Africa is actually the reason why many young people now of that Fulani group would join terrorism group. There's no other group. There's no other major reason. In fact, some of them it would even not be for ideological reasons per se. It will just be that they need money, they are in need, they need food, they need basic upkeep. Probably that's why it's easy for them to be lured. So that's what I can say. Concerning that, maybe someone needs to look at how they can address such historical anomalies. The African continent has been through a place of deprivation. It has been disadvantaged for very long. And right now, there is another angle to this where the people who are actually funding the terrorism are going for the minerals. So yes, they may be given stipends to join the terrorism group, but the person funding that group is going away with a bigger share, the bigger money, by coming for the minerals. At the end of the day, there is the loser again becomes that person who has been given just a stipend. So maybe this is time for us to start looking at the region, as Africa, and as the people of that region. It's time for them to start refocusing very, very keenly. There is no time that is late time for beginning economic empowerment. Look at what the president, Ibrahim Traore, we call him Traore, but every time our viewers send us their voice notes, they call him Traore. As here in East Africa, we call him Traore. Yeah. But many voice notes coming from that region and from Burkina Faso, they call him Traore. So look at what Ibrahim Traore is doing. He seems to be deliberately focusing on economically empowering his populace, especially the young people. Yeah, these are things which has not been happening. There's been a lot of empowering of just a few at the expense of the many. And maybe that's where we need to head to. Probably that will remedy the problem of terrorism. As long as the majority of the young people around the Sahel are poor, just expect it. They are going to join places where they can get quick money, and this is not just in form of money. Sometimes it comes in form of other goodies, other items that they are given, including alcohol, yes, and other things probably that they are given, just to make them feel a little bit better.
Yeah, Jonah, as you are finishing, what do you think the Sahel should do? That we are talking about Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. What are they supposed to do? Because it means that terrorists are highly attacking them wildly. But Ibrahim Traore seems to know the method of curbing these terrorists. Because according to the West in Sahel, he has been curbing them and attacking them. What do you think they're supposed to do?
Unity of purpose. There is a cause here. Economic empowerment of the Sahel region, political stability, very key. They need to start refocusing on how do they stabilize politically. Remember, as long as they come into power through coups, somebody in the world platform is going to get a reason why they should not be included in this and that. That in itself is a disadvantage. So they need to find ways now of gaining political stability first, then finding ways of bringing in electoral, elections or something like that, so that they legitimately, lead, so that someone in the world platform doesn't get a reason for marginalizing, especially the leaderships that seem to be focusing on the right things for their populace right now. So that's what I can say. First, seek political stability for your own countries. Find ways of toning down on the terrorist attacks. Find ways of really knowing what the problem of your populace is, addressing those issues. Ibrahim Traore seems to be on the right track on that. Assimi Goita in Mali started it. So find ways of bringing maybe an election around the corner to legitimize your leaderships. Then from there, go now to that place of truly, genuinely empowering your people. That needs, this cannot be understated. That is the only way that the Sahel can come back to its feet. It all is not lost. The Sahel is on the right path. It is not lost. Yeah, that's what I can say.
What I can say is just about what you have said. Unity as Africans. It's time for Africans to work together as a team. Right. We should not be lured with the Western country. We can do it, Jonah.
Yes.
As we are talking right now, Africa is known to be having raw material. A lot of raw materials are coming from Africans. Right. So it's just about unity amongst ourselves. That is what can make our continent to be better. Until next time, we will say game over.